Checking. I see everybody. So all my people on Facebook and YouTube, can you all hear me okay? All right. I see Oklahoma. I see Wanda from Birmingham on TikTok. That's what's up. Terrence from Tyler, Texas. Verita, Dr. Verita from Illinois. I see you. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate you. Chrissy from the SIP. Okay, Margaret, thank you for that. I'm glad to know that you all can hear me. Got kind of new setup going on, what have you. So, okay, I see Louisiana, Washington, D.C. Okay, Trish, I'm glad this is your first time. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully you'll get something out of this discussion we actually going to have tonight, right? What's up, Cheryl Lynn from Milwaukee, Devon from Canton, Klaus from New Jersey. I like it. Florida girl, first time. I'm glad you could join us live. We appreciate it. What's up, Tamika? I see you. Tamika, I still need to get one of them cakes, girl. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to work on it, trying to get this summer body together, but them cakes don't be calling my name. Thank you for that, Pamela. I see people from St. Louis. I see Beaumont, Hope Mills, Georgia. I love it. Stella Bailey from Dallas. Appreciate y'all over there. Make sure on TikTok land, y'all are tapping the screen and sharing it out live. Thank you for my derby outfit, huh? I'm glad y'all liked it. I appreciate it. Indiana, Annette, Georgia. I get you. I see you. Nora from Mississippi. Okay, Patrice Proctor, this is your first time. I'm glad you actually joined us as well. All right, another first timer from Indiana. Hey, I'm telling you, Tamika, I'm trying to keep this big back down, man, but y'all making it hard or what have you. So we're going to talk about a number of good things tonight. I see people already asking. So I want to give it one more minute and we're going to go on. Okay. What's going on now? I appreciate you. Ms. Boss, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Felicia Mitchell, I see you from Texas and Maryland. First time, Courtney. Okay. From Beaufort, South Carolina. That's what's up. Much love. Much love. I appreciate y'all joining. Appreciate y'all jumping on. What have you. This love. Susan from Austin, first time. All right. Yep. Those on TikTok, keep tapping, keep sharing it out. Keep letting people know that we are live. And one more minute, I'm going to go ahead and give the topic at hand because I want to see some thoughts. I want to hear some thoughts because I think a lot about what we actually hear and see on social media. And it's important for us to make sure that we have these conversations. Y'all know how I am. It's important to have real-time conversations, right? And let's talk about real stuff. So I welcome everybody to Grown Folks Conversation, the live edition, right? The live edition. So everybody sit back, go ahead and get your favorite beverage, grab you some popcorn or something like that. If you've never been on one of my lives, this will be a treat for you. If you have been on one of my lives, y'all know we are straight talk, no chasing. What's up, Les? Okay, Jackie King from Ireland. Thank you over there. I appreciate you. Ohio, I see Angeline from, that's Latia, Ohio. Okay. Elena, first time. All right. Okay, Sarah, first time on here. This is much love, much love. White wine. Somebody say white wine already poured. There you go. Atlanta, Raleigh. Listen, y'all keep tapping the screen on TikTok. Y'all keep sharing it out. Thank y'all so much for dropping the heart me's and things of that nature. I really do appreciate that. So listen, here's what I want to talk about today. And I want us to go ahead and start. I want you to start thinking about this particular subject at hand, right? My question tonight, I want to talk about, we always talk about relationships. I want to talk about marriage. And what I really want to ask is marriage losing its value, or are people just finally being honest? Okay. Y'all bear with me for a moment. Y'all know how I like to do. Let me drop a little bit of information behind the scenes, because people, when it comes to relationships right now, they're doing all kinds of things. And marriage does not seem like it's one of the primary functions. When I ask people the question, and I'm going to ask you this question, if you are dating with intent, what exactly is your intent? What exactly is the intent? The intent to what? The intent for what? Listen to me carefully. Let's go ahead and get ready to dive into it, okay? I want to ask y'all something real quick. If marriage is so valuable, why is it that all of a sudden most people are choosing not to do it. Why do we have more people moving in together, building lives, right? Sharing beds, raising kids, but still saying, nah, I don't need marriage. And I want to go a little bit deeper. If marriage is marriage being devalued, or are people just pretending it works because that's the way we were always taught? So tonight, here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about cohabitation. I want to talk about long-term dating. I want to talk about open relationships. I want to talk about polygamy. And I want to talk about all the stuff that folks are doing instead of saying, I do. All right. Y'all tap in tonight. This is Grown Folks Business. So here's my question, as I alluded to earlier. My first question is, if most of us are out here dating for intent, what exactly is your intent? I'm going to ask again. If most of us are dating for intent, what exactly is your intent? For what? Drop it in the chat. What do you intend to do when you're thinking about intent? What does that mean? I see marriage. I see future husband. I see people say married. Long-term relationship, possibly leading to marriage. Felicia said on Facebook, I see you. Alicia K said philosophical reasoning. Okay. I see marriage. People say their intent is to marry. Marriage. Happily married. My intention is married, build a happy life. Marriage. Permanent partner. I see some people say permanent partner. Intentional long-term relationship. I'm seeing that. So that's what I'm saying. Somebody said a true life partner, not necessarily marriage, right? Wanting a life partner leading to marriage. That's what Sarah said off of Facebook. Long-term companion. I see a legacy. Somebody said, I'm not sure if I want to marry again, right? Okay, y'all keep sharing it out on TikTok. We'll go ahead and keep tapping the screen. Somebody said that JB Cole said just became a widow, married after 26 years. So all she's looking for is a life partner. All right. So when you see the answers that are coming across from all different groups, right, you're starting to see that people are saying, they just want a long-term relationship, somebody to grow old with, not necessarily. So here's my question. Do you guys believe that marriage is necessary now, or is it just tradition that we're holding on to? I'm going to ask again. Do you believe marriage is necessary now, or is it just tradition that we're holding on to? I see tradition. To me, dating is honest about goals early. Gotcha. Somebody said lifetime commitment. Gotcha. Tradition. People say tradition. Tradition. Okay. I got you. Now, I asked you if marriage is necessary or if it's traditional, right? And I see people still knocking in. A lot of people are saying traditional. Somebody said both. Not necessary unless you want kids. Okay, Vernie, I hear what you're saying, right? Marriage is heavy tradition. Absolutely, right? A lot of people are saying it's necessary, right? Vanessa said marriage is the only relationship that you need permission to have. It's covenant. And that's the why. Here's my other question. So is marriage then truly about love, or is it about security? Give me your thoughts on that. When you think about marriage in its totality, in its full gravity, is marriage really about love, or is it about security? What do you think about that at this time? I see love. I see security. I see both. I see love. I see security. I see both. Love and security. I see necessary. Love, both. So for those of you that are really into marriage and you believe that it's about love, well, I see love, security. I see both. Okay. When you hear the words forever, when you think about marriage and the vows that you take and you hear the words forever, do you feel peace or do you feel pressure? What are you feeling when you think about marriage and that particular covenant and that document, that marriage license, and you hear the pastor say, for richer or for poor, for better or for worse, forever? Do you feel peace or do you feel pressure? Somebody said their first thought was love, and now Roberta said that now it feels like security. People said peace. Cloud said forever scares her. I see both. People say they've been there, done that. Patty says she's peace. Stella says she feels peace. Tamika says she's praying it would be peace. Gotcha. Peace. I see peace. I see peace. So let me ask you this. All of us, we're on social media right now. And when we think about marriage and the things that when you think about how you define marriage and what you're looking for, if your intent is to be married, has social media changed how you view marriage compared to what you once thought? In following social media, has it changed how you view marriage in its totality? And are people more interested in the marriage or just the wedding? Ooh, I want y'all to think about this. If social media has not changed the way you view marriage, do you find that people are more into the marriage, or they don't want marriage? They just want the wedding. Are more people into the marriage or the wedding? Paul said a little. No. People say the wedding. I don't need a wedding. Marriage. It's funny. I actually say that I will definitely get married again. But I can assure you my bride and I will not be at a big church with a lot of people around. We might run off and get married at a destination wedding, but we're going to come back and we're going to kick up. We're going to have one hell of a reception. You can believe that. But a lot of people get caught up in the wedding itself, right? They get caught up in the wedding because if you think about it, when weddings are really for everybody else, right? Weddings are for everybody else around you. Now, some people will say, well, that's me proclaiming my love in front of everybody. But you can also do that with just you and the pastor. Vanessa says she believes the bedroom door has been left open. Let's talk about living without marriage. All right. So what's the real difference between being married and living together for 10 years? Talk to me. What's the difference between being married or living together for 10 years? Somebody said it's a show. That's just a show. Somebody said covenant. Okay, legal matters, right? Let me ask you this with the legal matters. You can live with someone and literally go to an attorney, and everything that you want them to have, you can literally put it into your legal document to make sure that that person is taken care of, right? So I ask again, what is the difference? Yep, you're right. The public wants to see the wedding. The couple needs to be focused on marriage, Sheila. I agree with you. Right? No difference. People say there's no difference, right? So then let me flip that though. But if you're somebody said, yep, power of attorney. Somebody says nothing more than a piece of paper. My other question to you is this. Let me flip that for you. If you're doing everything that a married couple does in the home and you're living together, tell me why you would avoid the title. Why would you avoid the title altogether if you're living and doing everything that a married couple does? I want to pull that out. What do y'all think? Tell me. Somebody said you're roommates with snacks. That's my question. If you're doing everything a married couple does, why are you avoiding a title? Somebody says it's what facts. Yep. Marriage is covenant. Living together is playing house. I get it. Okay. Somebody said it's a way out. For some, it's financial risk. I get it. Marriage for some is based on their religious beliefs. You're absolutely right. That's it. Being married for 10 years, you're entitled to spousal benefits at death. You absolutely are. But you also can do that with a legal document. Somebody said it's outside the will of God. And for those of you that are religious, I completely understand that when it comes to, your biblical requirements. But not everybody feels the exact same way, right? I see it's not avoiding the title. I've been in one for almost 12 years. Somebody said a prenup. They rather have a prenup. It's easier. Somebody said it's easy to get in. Deborah said it's easy to get in, but it's hard to get out. Let me tell you something. Somebody told me when I filed for divorce that the person I married would not be the person that I divorced. And when I tell you, if that wasn't a word, it was a word. You hear me? It was a word. A whole different person you divorced than what you married, right? So let me ask this. When it comes to those that are living together and operating as a marriage, operating as a married persons or married group, is cohabitation the smart thing to do? Or is that really just fear of commitment? And some of you have already kind of answered this. Is cohabitation the smarter thing to do? Or is that really just fear of commitment? Said it irks me when somebody introduced their partner as a wife or husband and they're not married. Not sure why it bothers you. I got you, because you feel like maybe they haven't committed. Paul said common law marriages, living with each other for a time. People say that's fear of commitment. Fear of commitment. I'm still seeing that, right? Somebody say they feel it depends on the couple. Alicia K says she's not religious, she's spiritual. I get it. Tamika says she ain't shacking with nobody, she don't answer. So Tamika, let me ask you this. Let's say you met a guy and you all hit it off really, really well, right? Extremely quickly. And you all he decided that he wanted you to move with him, but he has every intention of marrying you. Would you not take the opportunity to move with him? Yes or no? Somebody said cohabitation is a no-go. It has to be fear of commitment. Both better to each his own, right? Okay. All right. So do people stay unmarried then? Or for those of you that said, no, you're not looking to marry, are you staying unmarried because it's an easier exit or because you don't have to fully commit? I'm asking the question. For those of you that say you willing to shack with somebody with no problem and live as a married couple, are you doing that because it's a fear of commitment and it's easier to exit, or why? Somebody said, why? They can just kick you out when they get mad. That's true. Well, they can do the same thing if they married to you and you move into their house, right? Depending on the state. Somebody said all of the above, it's an easy exit. Okay, gotcha, Tamika. Tamika said she good with it, has to be less than 3 months, and that's the final offer. I got you. Hey, no problem. When married, I'm chosen. When you are not around, my name says you have me. You're right. Good question, V. I'm trying to ask the question, Paul. Come on now, think about it for a moment, right? Seriously. Like, is that the easier way? Just an easier exit? You just want to avoid the title? I'm not knocking anybody for whatever decision you make, but I want to force you to think about either where you are in a relationship or what your final intent is. So here's my other question. I'm finna stir the pot just a little bit. Who benefits more from just living together, men or women? Desi, I agree. Divorce is emotionally devastating, sister. I agree. Who benefits more, men or women? I see men. I see men. Now, these are not men saying man. You're right, Paul. It does. It depends on the person. I agree. But I see women are saying that men are the ones that benefit more from living together. Well, so then in essence, ladies, what you're saying is that if men benefit more from living together, are you saying that women benefit more from marriage? You can't have it both ways. I'm asking again. I asked you all who benefits more from living together. Most of the women are saying men. So that if that's the case, marriage, women benefit more, correct? Right? So women would benefit more in marriage. Now, Red Riding Hood is not apples and oranges, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going there. If men only benefit more from shacking, but women benefit more from marriage, women have no desire to shack because you don't feel secure, and men don't want to marry because y'all take half of the stuff from men. That's men's fear. That's a real thing. And so we wonder why we have more and more people that are not looking to marry. I have women ask all the time, why is it that men don't want to marry? You all just answered the question. Because you said men benefit more from shacking, but women benefit more from marriage. And the problem is neither side wants to be vulnerable. Gloria, you said they don't, but most of the women on here say they do. Ladies say because they have more options. Okay, I got you. So if both parties are paying for expenses, men benefit more from living. I think men benefit more from marriage too. Tell me how, Pamela. Tell me how a man benefits more from marriage. I would love to know that. Seriously, think about it. Tell me how a man benefits more from marriage. I'd love to hear that. So let me ask you this. For those of you that are in your relationships, are you building or are we really just renting one another? What do you think? Do you think we're building or are we just renting one another? Graphic Designer said it seems like women are more combative in marriage than being in a relationship. Rochelle, you mean women do a lot of work where? Ladies and gentlemen, are we building or are we just renting one another? Real question, I know. Who? Y'all, I missed some of the comments over there. They rolling right now. That's good though, because that means we thinking and we talking. They say we should be building. Kelly said she got to grab another drink. I got you, Kelly. I'm gonna roll right with you. Joanna, that's right. Somebody said renting. I'm going through it right now. Graphic designer, that's right. Marriage should be about teamwork. And here's what I'm trying to get at, guys, is no matter who it's coming from, there has to be the ability to be vulnerable in order for any relationship to work. And it needs to be vulnerable from both sides, from the men and from the women. But if both sides are over there saying, well, I'm not going to just date this man and live with him because he's the one that benefits. And the man is over there saying, yeah, I ain't too ready to get married because she might take me for everything. Nobody's willing to be vulnerable. And thus we have a lot of relationships, honestly, where we're just renting one another. We're not building with one another. Yeah, Barbara, we talking about humans. Absolutely. We just renting one another. We're not building with one another because people have become so jaded when it comes to relationships and everybody's afraid to be hurt. But the sheer definition of being in a relationship is to be hurt. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And you have to be willing to take that risk no matter what. If you want to truly build with somebody. I want to talk about this, and it's a great segue: fear, divorce, and trauma. How many of you are avoiding marriage because of something you've went through? It could be anything. It could be divorce. It could be that you were hurt. It could be that you were abused. It could be any of those things. How many of you are avoiding marriage? I see Tamika said, yep. Queen T says she is. Marlon say he is. How many of you are avoiding marriage because of something that you went through? Lucia said communication is the key plus understanding the You're right. Felicia says she is. Right? No, I'm not saying that, Desi. I'm not saying all women are. I don't build in generalities, Desi. You'll never hear me say all women or all men anything. Right? None of that. But here's my question again. How many of y'all how many of you are avoiding marriage because of what you've been through? Good. Miss Nikki said, nah, she would love to be married. Chasing Sunsets got her hand raised and said, yep. So a lot of people, right? So are you telling me that your last relationship made you anti-marriage? Is that what you all are saying to me? Is that your last relationship made you anti-marriage, which means you're not believing in it at all? Kamika said, no, not at all for her. Yep, I see yes. I see yes. I see yes. Now, some people say they would like to do it again, but I'm seeing yes, right? Okay, good. Somebody said I'm not. Okay, so here's my other question. In this day and age, they say what divorce rates are high as hell, 60 to 70%, 80% for a number of same-sex relationships. There's a number of things that are happening when it comes to marriage. So is the fear of divorce for you all stronger than the desire for commitment? I'm going to ask you again. When it comes to divorce rate, you think about the divorce rate in this country. Is the fear of divorce stronger than the desire to be committed to somebody to possibly try again? People said not at all. I see no. Lucia said leave the past back there and move on. The next person will probably be better. That's what we always hope, right? No, not at all. Kelly said she would marry again with caution. That's right, as well as you should. I'm the same way, Kelly. Rita's Dr. Quinn said she'd love to. Fear is the driving force behind anti-marriage. I completely agree with you, graphic designer. I do. Right? Okay. Learn from the past and move forward. Somebody said divorce starts with an unexpected end. Some people say they will marry again. So then here's my other question for those of you that would be willing to marry again and that you've learned some things from your divorce, if you've been divorced or from a very hard breakup relationship. Are we actually healing from those traumas? Or are we just starting to adjust our standards downward because we can't seem to find that next person? I know a number of us have been out here dating for a while. Okay, gotcha. Right. So are we healing or are we starting to adjust our standards downward because we haven't been with someone for a while? Somebody said they healed and waiting. People say they're healing, adjusting. Somebody said they're adjusting their standards down and they realize that. And it's easy to do when you haven't been with someone, right? When you've been open and no, Arlene, I'm not ignoring Facebook people. I'm actually saying this. I'm saying a lot of your statements. Yeah, it's actually easy to start to adjust your standards downward when people are not, you don't find anyone, right? Angela, you said you should never start a new relationship, right? My standards have heightened because I was with someone with standards. That's right. And you should have never accepted. But you know that. Barbara says she adjusting her standards downward. Roberta says she adjusts her standards before marriage and currently. Good for you. So again, somebody said they desire to date before their husband. Am I willing to marry again? Oh, I'm definitely going to marry again. I have no problem with that. Jason Sunset said part of her healing is delaying marriage at this point. Those of you on TikTok, keep tapping the screen and keep sharing this thing out. So again, Celeste on Facebook says she has absolutely learned so very much from your first marriage. Allow God to heal you, wait on his time. And absolutely. So at what point, though, as you're going through healing, at what point during that particular time does self-protection become self-sabotage? And if you understand what I'm saying, I want you to think about it in this particular light. Some of you have said that you've done a lot of work. You're not adjusting your standards down. You've gone through some healing, which also means you're extremely protective of your heart when it comes to your next relationship. But at what point does that self-protection become self-sabotage? You understand what I'm saying? You're right, Lucia. You're right. Keep communicating and take notes. Absolutely. Always keep your standards. You're absolutely supposed to keep your standards. Somebody asked me, how old am I? I'll be 55 this year. What does that have to do with anything, though? Yep, I see communication is a key, right? When we come, yep, you're absolutely. So that definitely happens, right? Sometimes you start to protect your peace so much, right? You start to protect yourself that you start to sabotage. You self-sabotage when it comes to someone that you meet. So you meet somebody. They're doing all the things that you want in a person. They're doing all the things that you want to see in a person. And to you, unfortunately, things that they're doing look suspicious. It's because you're not used to someone being genuine. And as a result, you tend to self-sabotage. And that's why I asked that question. That's why I asked that question. So be honest. Are you protecting your peace? Are you really avoiding accountability? Somebody say, yep, I definitely have. Absolutely. That's right. Healing from separation. Somebody say, I'm in my own bubble. I admit. Eve, there you go. Admit it. You know where you are. So you're not sabotaging. Desi says she's not sabotaging. She's just keeping her eyes open for the red flags. Oh, thank you, Devon. I appreciate it. At some point, you have to take that protective wall down. Tammy, that's it. There's nothing wrong with having standards. Everyone should have standards. You should have boundaries. You should have your standards, right? Absolutely. Have boundaries and standards. But your walls or your boundaries should not be so high that someone can't even try to get around it to see exactly who you are. Chasing Sunset says she's not sabotaging, she's just not rushing. Rightfully so. You need to take your time in doing so. Whatever you did to get them, you need to continue. I want to move on now. Here's what I want to talk about. So we talked about relationships. We talked about people protecting themselves. We talked about people fearing divorce and trauma. We talked about living together without marriage. I want to go into this. Let's talk about polygamy. Let's talk about open relationships. And let's talk about all these alternatives that we keep seeing out here. It seems like every day that I get on social media, there's a new term. There's something else out there for relationships. It used to be a time when you just had basic relationships, right? You either was with somebody or you weren't, right? Or you were hetero or homosexual, right? But now it's like 9 different doggone relationships. You was either married or you were shacking. But now we see all kinds of stuff. So why are most people starting to be open to polygamy and open relationships now? People said it's too much for me. I'm not sharing. They do, Miss Stephanie, they do, but I'm telling you, people say guys like to be open for another possibilities. Lovely Leah said, what's mine is mine. No, thank you. I'm not with it. I love it. People are, I'm good on that. But here's my question. There's some people, now everybody on here saying they ain't with it. All right. So then here's my other question. For those of you say that you're not sharing, you're not with any of that other stuff. Here's my question. Do you feel at this day and age that monogamy is unrealistic? Or are people just undisciplined? Ooh, come on now. Is monogamy unrealistic or are people just undisciplined? Both. I see undisciplined. That's that new stuff Tina says a no-go. I'm just saying, I don't remember none of this, but this is all new stuff, right? And I'm having to talk to people and coach and hearing all these terms and thinking about the mindset of people now when it comes to relationship is completely eye-opening. People say that's being undisciplined. Undisciplined. Okay, so you're saying, but you believe monogamy is realistic and that people are just being undisciplined. Somebody said they just wild as hell. So here's my other question. Do you all believe that you can truly love more than one person equally? Is that possible? Is it possible to love more than one person equally? Yes or no? Tamika said no. No. Jazzy said yes. I see no. No. Somebody say hell no. They say it's unrealistic. Monica says most certainly is realistic. No. I see no. Ain't no need me asking y'all this other question, because especially for those of you that are not down with open relationship, or at least those. Dr. Anna said, yes, love is a choice. You can love more than one person. I see that, right? It's possible. Lucia said it's possible, but they nasty. No, that's a choice. Okay. So I don't need me to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Somebody, even though I talked about polyamory and open relationships, I guess, would you share your partner or is that a deal breaker? And I think I already know the answer. I don't think monogamy is difficult, but doing the work to stay together is often more, you're absolutely right, folks, than what folks are willing to do. So I know y'all wouldn't share your partner. Let me go into another one. It's a deal breaker. So do you all think then in this day and age about when it comes to polyamory, right, and open relationships, do you all believe that that's more about connection or is it more about convenience? Right? Sister Brown now says it's a deal breaker. So do you all believe that polygamy is about connection or do you think it's about convenience when it comes to that? Some people said it could be both. I see convenience. Don says it's about the man. I see convenience. Now I've actually talked to, there's a commercial break for you. I've actually talked to a couple that's polyamorous and the ladies actually love it. They actually love it. And it actually has nothing to do with sex. It has absolutely nothing to do with sex at all. It's literally about them cohabitating and living and working through their life. So somebody say, hell no. Somebody said hell to the no. Red Riding Hood said until. All right, so let me move on. I'm gonna move on now. I want to go to value when it comes to marriage. Remember, I asked you these questions. Is marriage really still valid at this point? Has it lost its luster? Right? Lost its value. Those of you on TikTok, keep tapping the screen, keep sharing it out. Facebook said some men I've met state they would cheat, so they would rather just be honest and not lie. That's great. They might as well just be honest up front. Rochelle said, no, she's not going. I got you. Okay. Here's my other thing. So has marriage lost its value, or do you think people have lost the skills or no longer have the desire to maintain it? Gray Fox said marriage seems to have lost its value. It's lost its value. I'm asking again, has marriage lost its value, or have people lost the skills to maintain it, or do they even want to? Too many no value to me is everything. For me, marriage is valid. Okay. Lost its value. I see lost skills, both. People say it's lost their skills. They give up too easily. In the cultures with polygamy, I think it's about having a team to raise the children, take care of. That's actually true, Pamela. That's actually true. And that's what the couple was telling me. Lynn said it's the days of Sodom and Gomorrah lost its value. Some people say, no, they lost the skills. People have lost the skills to maintain a marriage. Somebody said they no longer respect God's covenant. Never married, not sure. Somebody said they don't want to work for it. People don't want to do, Sharon said on Facebook, people don't want to do the work. Same thing Stella said. Latoya said that people didn't lost skills, right? People have, it's lost its value. So are people then that are asking for marriage? Are people asking for marriage because they're not marriage material? Are they asking for marriage without being marriage material in the first place? Right? Are people truly prepared to be a wife or to be a husband? Or is it just the idea of being married? Are people truly preparing to be a wife and be a husband? Right? Or is it just the idea of being married? Are people really marriage material in this day and age? Gray Fox said marriage is about status for a lot of people. I know that's a good question, right? Do people really just like, are they prepared to be a husband or a wife without being, or people get married without being truly marriage material? Somebody say they prepared. Somebody say it's the idea of getting married. People say no prep. That's what I'm talking about. Validation. Some people need it for validation. Somebody said they put in the work to be a good wife. I hear what you're saying. Somebody say, I know I'm marriage material. What's up, Zena? So then if you think about that, if people are starting to get married and they're not even marriage material, they haven't prepared to be a husband or a wife, do people really want commitment, or is it really just consistent attention? Do you want somebody that's just always there? Somebody say they want something out the store like to show their friends. Again, do people want commitment, or do they just want constant attention? Because we just talked about not everybody is preparing to be a husband or to be a wife, right? They're not really prepared to be a husband or be a wife. They like the idea of marriage. So then are they really looking for a commitment, or are they really just looking for constant attention? I know, Devon, I got to be honest. I like to step on toes. Commitment is about maturity, graphic design. I agree. Kamika says she wants commitment for sure. People say they want commitment. They said, Rochelle said, get sick and you'll know the truth. Somebody said grown folks want marriage. I hear what you're saying. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you want. I want commitment. Some people said attention. Those on TikTok, keep tapping the screen and go ahead and share that thing out for me. I appreciate it. So then I got to go back to my other question. I'm going to ask it in a different way. Is it that is the problem really marriage and devaluing, or is it the people entering into it? See, we talked about marriage, and a lot of people say you believe marriage is losing its value. But my question is the problem really marriage and the sanctity and the covenant of marriage, or is it people that are entering into the covenant that are not prepared to be married in the first place? T. Holmes says the people getting into it. Y'all keep tapping the screen on TikTok and share it out for me. I see Akil on Facebook said the people. Graphic designer says the people. So in essence, then, when I go back to my very first question, yeah, it can be both. Yep, it can be both. So it can be both. It absolutely can be both. You say they're not prepared. People are not prepared to move into relationships. They're not prepared to move into marriage, but they go into it anyway. So here's my question. What does being ready for marriage even look like? Because I hear I just seen a lot of you all say, I'm a wife. I'm ready to be a wife. I know I'm ready to be a wife. What does that look like? Tell me. No, Toya, commitment does not equal marriage. But that's what I'm saying. But we're talking about marriage tonight. It doesn't mean that you have to be married. Actually, earlier, I don't know if you were on early enough, I talked about that. So again, tell me, what does it mean to be ready for marriage? What does that look like even? What does that even look like? Dr. Rita said that's why counseling prior to marriage is key. I'm meddling. People, I'm just being honest. Somebody said, Red Riding Hood said her parents. So you have a good example. That's what I'm saying. Right. So tell me, what does that mean though? So I see people saying different things, right? I see alignment, transparency. Red Riding Hood, you got an excellent example, 46 years. I see abstinence, walking in the commandments. Okay. Sharnita said on Facebook, unselfishness. Lucia said understanding feelings, assessment, right? Wound aware. Sharon said ready or aware your wounds. I see two becoming one on TikTok. Discernment, patience. So you're saying if you're these things, you're ready for marriage? Or are you just ready for a good relationship? I'm going to ask again. Y'all are giving me great examples, but I'm asking a question. Do those things make you ready for marriage, or do those things make you ready for a relationship? Because we all know that a relationship, not as much work as a marriage. There's a different level of commitment there in a marriage, right? People say your finances need to be in order. I see both. Communication, right? See, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm telling you what I'm seeing out here. It seems like everybody wants a lifetime contract with a temporary mindset. Y'all hear what I said? It seems like everybody out here wants a lifetime contract, but they got a temporary mindset. And that's why it's not boding so well when it comes to relationships. Would you agree? I love it. Let's keep this thing going. I got to be a little messy now. We're going to do some men versus women perspectives, right? Facebook, TikTok, y'all keep tapping, keep sharing this thing out. All right, Facebook, YouTube, I see you. Somebody said they ready to, and they said she ready to serve in a capacity. Let me ask you this. In your opinion, and I know we got more women on here, and usually the men are on here just so y'all know, they don't really chime in a lot as much as the women do. Greetings from New Zealand. How you doing? So do men avoid marriage more than women now? When you think about the status of relationships and divorces, right? Do men avoid marriage more than women now? I see yes, yes. Somebody said, if you're not looking to raise children, is marriage really needed? Okay. So again, do men avoid marriage more than women now? I think it's equal now. Okay. Do women still benefit from marriage the same way they used to? Again, there's my next question. So do women still benefit from marriage the same way they used to? When you think about grandmama and great grandmama and your mama, do you think today's women benefit the same from marriage the way they used to? Tell me what's the difference. For those of you I see yes, I see no. So for those of you that say no, you don't think women today benefit from marriage the way they used to. Tell me what's the difference in your opinion. What's the difference? What's the difference in being married today than your grandmama and them 40 years ago? Said women are too independent. It's a different type. Okay. Own my own everything. Not the same aspect. No, it's so different now, but tell me how. Somebody say, I think it's better. Somebody say, they say most men today want to be taken care of. I don't know about most men. We don't deal in generalities now, but if you, what you could say is maybe the men you've encountered. Say men back in the day was educated, had their own money. Society has changed their mindset. Philonda said it depends on the reason for marriage, right? Some women need a man to take care of them financially. Now, successful women want a man to take care of their heart. Absolutely. If those of you that's been following me, you've heard my story that I tell about the cardiac thoracic surgeon and the mechanic out of Portland, Oregon. That's a perfect example. All right, so listen. Has independence, and you all have already alluded to that, a lot of independence has changed the need for partnership. So here's what I'm seeing when I'm having discussions when it comes to marriage. Men are afraid of losing everything they have, and women are afraid of settling. Do you believe that's a fair statement? Do you all believe that that's a fair statement? That men are afraid of losing everything they own, and women are afraid of settling. Do you think that that's a fair statement? Okay, I see yes, I see absolutely. Appreciate your Sister Brown Eyes on Facebook. Denise Ray, I appreciate you. Okay, gotcha. So if y'all think somebody said no. So if it's not a fair statement, tell me what is before I ask my next question. Very fair. Somebody said women want too much to be equal to a man. That's coming from a woman. A woman. Say you think women are afraid of losing. I get it. I get it. I'm trying to get the two large overarching things. So then if that's the case, who has more to lose in a marriage today? And then give me the example why. Men or women? In your opinion, who has more to lose? Who has the bigger risk when it comes to marriage? Men or women? But I need you to tell me why. Tell me why. Because I'm seeing women. I see women. So tell me why. Tell me why. That's what I want to know. Tell me. Tamika said, what do they think they're losing? I'm trying to find out. Tell me who has more to lose in a marriage, men or women, and then tell me why. Whoever has the largest bank account, their lives. I think it depends on why they got married. Man, other women lose on going through a divorce, in my opinion. I got you, Paul, on Facebook. Probably, but it shouldn't be about that. I walked away from everything and only took my daughter and animals. Deanna, I left everything too, furniture, everything. Took my clothes and my vehicles, and I was gone. Man has the financial risk when they have more money. Women lose their emotional stability that was invested. That's from Monica on Facebook. Depends on maybe financial. I get it. On TikTok, y'all keep tapping the screen, keep sharing it out. I appreciate it. Women, because they sacrifice more. That's Denise on Facebook. I see both. Dr. Mullen said men or whoever the breadwinners of the marriage is. Claretta said men. She said child support. Women get the house. Both that they're invested in each other. I think both, but she left everything. Stella said she agreed. Wanda said she just left. Unique Christian, you're right. Women are just as established. So that's why I asked the question. I want people's opinions on, again, who has the largest risk to lose, right? Somebody said they left and started over. Depends on these person's finances. Somebody said, look at Todd and Candy. I'm 51. My kids are grown. So for me, it's my time and my heart. I get it. But for every Todd and Candy, we can show you something that's the other way around. When it comes to men that have money, women lose time. Men can have a family later in life, but a woman cannot. So it should be equal. Someone lost a lot, but you got your piece, Shell. There you go, sister. All right, so listen. Here's my question. We've been talking about a lot of things. My question is, are you even marriage material? Are you marriage material? When you think about where you are in today's time and date, are you even marriage material? Right? And if you say yes, is it that you want commitment or you want constant attention? Some people say, no, they're not marriage material. I'm seeing it already. I see it. People saying yes, yes. Somebody's Georgia Peach said, of course. All right. Right? No, I'm not. There you go. You got to be honest with yourself. Klaus said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, because I'm not willing to. And then there you go. Tanika said she believes she is. I see no. I see yes. I see no. And that's okay. There's no right or wrong answer to this. What this is about you personally as an individual. And if you think you're ready for marriage or commitment, if you're marriage material. Some people say I'm working on it. Kat said not anymore. Demetra said she was 20 years ago. I was and still am if the opportunity presents itself. Yes, commitment. So then here's my other question. I asked, do you want commitment or do you just want constant attention? See, I think when you start thinking about long-term relationships, when you tell people you are dating with intent, you have to first define what intent means to you. And once you can identify what intent means to you, then you can determine if marriage is your ultimate goal, right? So if you intend on building with someone, right, and living with someone and commingling finances and doing all those things, then maybe your intent is marriage. Or if your intent is long-term commitment and you want to have a helpmate or someone to travel with, a travel buddy, and someone you can kick it with every now and then, and someone that you can go over their house and they can come and do a conjugal visit at your house, then it sounds like your intent is a committed relationship, but not marriage. That's right. Cam said, or a life partner. Right. So when you're talking about intent and you meet somebody and they tell you, oh, I'm dating with intent, your very first question should be, what is your intent? You're right, Red Right Hood. I agree. But for some people, that's intent. And for people that do not believe that's intent, that's because your intent is more long term, maybe marriage or what have you, right? So your first question to anybody when they say, I'm dating with intent, what exactly is your intent? Right? Would everybody agree? Reverend Dr. Dale establishes men, but many on both sides aren't possibly emotionally ready or ready for commitment. I agree. I am now already built out of a fair man. I got you. So again, y'all start asking that question. Ask that question and see what happens with people. They're going to backpedal quick as hell, depending on where you are. And again, if you're not asking that question up front, you setting yourself up for failure later on. Think about this in this instance. What exactly are you bringing? For those of you that say you're ready to be married, what are you bringing into the marriage besides your own expectations? What exactly are you bringing into the marriage besides your own expectations? I did say conjugal visits. Listen, that is conjugal visits. If you got your house and they got their house and y'all working together, y'all traveling together, y'all hanging out together, but y'all not married, that is conjugal visits. I'm going to come over your house and get some. You're going to come over my house and get some. Is that not the truth? Is that not conjugal visits? Come on now. Tell me when I'm wrong. Monica says, what happens after an intent has been 3 years or longer? Sound like to me they intend to be by themselves. Sounds like to me they ain't intending to do anything. They intend to just kick it. If somebody been intending with you for 3 years, yeah, they just intend to kick it. Is that not true? Crystal, you know I'm telling the truth. Move on. Hey, somebody said move on, boo. That's right. That's absolutely right. Somebody said a door to the left, right? So now when you think about your standards, right? When you think about your standards, are your standards realistic or are they just convenient? When it comes to long-term relationships, are they realistic or are they just convenient? And I want you to think about that for a moment. When it comes to your standards, there's nothing wrong with standards. You're supposed to have standards. You crazy as hell if you don't have standards. You'll let people run over you. Reverend James Spencer said, yeah, 3 years is too long. I say this all the time. A man knows when he is with you exactly what he wants. I can speak for men. I don't know a damn thing about women. Y'all know I'm still learning about y'all every day. But a man knows when he wants to make a woman his wife. He knows the desire. He knows. So again, back to that question. Let me digress. Are your standards realistic? Are your standards realistic or are they just convenient? No, Lady A, we were talking about somebody asked me 3 years. She asked me what happens when you've been with somebody for 3 years and they haven't done anything. That's where that number came from. I don't believe in time. That's why, again, y'all know I did that video. If I meet somebody today and I pop out next Sunday married, mind your business. I don't believe in time. It is what it is, not at this big age. I'm going to be double nickels this year. I'm not wasting no time. If I find who I want, I'm on. Tamika said she got married after 4 months, and that's what I'm talking about. Melinda, you say yours are pretty realistic and you grounded in what you want. That's great, sister, on Facebook. I see you. Clara Neal said, if they're in it for intent, marriage, 3 years, you're right. Some men know but are confronted from a past divorce or being widowed. Lucia, and that's true. And again, that's why I said earlier, vulnerability, you have to be willing to be vulnerable when it comes to relationships, do you not? That's a chance we all take. Relationships are not devoid of mistakes and hurt. That's what they are. You got two imperfect people trying to make as perfect of a union as they can. There is some hurt that's going to come along with it. But you have to be willing to be vulnerable if you want to connect with anybody. You said, why play games, no communication for 345 days in a row? Now that's a no-go. His intent was to roll on. Paul said he 59 in 2 months. Bro, I'm with you, bro. I ain't playing no games out here. And that's a real deal. That's right. Life is short. We're too short to play games, but that's why I'm asking these questions about people. When they say intent, what the hell does intent mean? What does that mean? You intend to do what? Intend to get the hell on? Intend to get you some and move on about yours? Intend to come back every now and then and knock something off? Intend to travel with me or intend to keep me a secret? I mean, what's really going on? Ask the question. Ask the question. What the hell is intent? What does that mean? So listen, when somebody starts to talk to you about relationships and about marriage, I'm telling you, after you find out exactly what the hell intent means to them, what do you intend? If you intend to get married, then that's what you want to hear from this person, right? I don't want to hear that, man, I'm not really sure, and I done been through this, and let's see where it goes. Listen, let's see where it goes, man. You can go on hell on about your business, right? But don't tell me what you want. Tell me what you done worked on. That's what I want to know. Tell me what you done worked on. That's right, Ray James. You said vulnerable and be willing to compromise sometimes. You're absolutely right. So there you go, Cheryl. Cheryl says she dating with the intent to be somebody's wife. But that, Gigi, that's why I'm saying you have to ask the question. Most of the times we'll ask a question and then we assume a few things, right? We assume. So again, if somebody say you dating with intent, oh, okay, you dating with intent to do what? What is your intent? And then two, when you start asking about the things in the relationship and people like to holler what you bring to the table. Damn that. Listen, don't tell me what you want in a person. I want to know, tell me what you worked on. Tell me what you worked on from your last relationship. We so busy asking these old soft ass questions. And we're not asking open-ended questions. We're asking a lot of yes and no questions. Jill said people are afraid to rock the boat by asking straight up, no fluff. And Jill, that's what I'm talking about on Facebook. Ask the right damn questions. And ask real questions. Y'all, this is our life we playing with. This is our life. This ain't nothing to play with. Most of us got more time behind us than in front of us. Ask the right damn question. What is your intent to do that? What is your intent? What exactly is your intent? For what? What did you work on after your last relationship? What exactly did you work on? What did you do wrong in your relationship? Because what I can't stand is for somebody to say they didn't do anything and it was all the other person's fault. You did something. You did something. And you got to be willing to be honest about it. Thank you for that, J Solo and No Games. I appreciate y'all. That's right, Stella. Take accountability, man, for what you did wrong in the relationship. It's okay. We all mess up. That's right. Rochelle said, who are you now and where do you want to go? I missed you, Grace. I missed exactly what you said, sister, and I'm sorry about that. Folks will tell you in the beginning what they want if you listen. We can't go public yet. You can't meet my family. Mr. V, you are speaking fight. So why is it a man gets upset when you have a limit on waiting for him to commit? So what do you mean you have a limit on waiting for him to commit? And if he gets upset, so what? Let him go on about his business. What do you mean why can't men reciprocate? Leopard, tell me what you mean by that. Right. Tell me what that means. Be accountable. I agree. See, the problem is that people tend to tell us exactly who they are, and we always make up in our mind that they're something else. We make up in our mind that they're something else. If a man can't meet you in public and he don't want to, you can't meet his family, you definitely ain't primary. You just something to do. We always see red flags, but we want to make them a chartreuse color. It's not quite real red. It's not beet red. It's more like a light pinkish red. It's a dim red. Well, it's really more burgundy. It ain't necessarily red. And that's that bullshit we be telling ourselves. Y'all know better. Quit lying to yourself. A red flag is a red flag. People show you every time, and we make up in our mind every time it is something else. And then later on, you want to know why the hell it didn't work out. They showed you who they were, but you the one that chose to roll. Don said, red is red. I'm with you. That's right. Red is red. I'm trying to help you, Mayor. I promise you I am. You said marriage didn't lose its value. The person in the marriage loses respect for the marriage. I agree. They show us, Sharon, you're right, and we want to ignore the truth. And that's it. And then what happened is that you start going down this path, and then all of a sudden you look at me like, damn, who is this person? Well, they showed you who they were. There you go. Anna said it best. Yep. Show me who you are, and I believe you the first time. What up, sis? Yeah. That's Chasing Sunset said we tend to make our red flags roses. Could check every box on your check. You still wake up with Chucky. I believe it should happen organically. However, you can still be intentional. Yeah, you're right, Philanda. You can be intentional. But my thing is that if you're telling somebody that you're dating with intention, what I'm saying is that, remember, I've had this conversation before. You're not giving people the roadmap of how to prove to you that they are who they say they are. If we're dating and you ask me, you're dating with intent? Yes, I'm dating with intent. I have every intention of being married again. It's not your job to tell me how to work with you in order to prove to you that I'm worthy of being married to you. All I need to know is that you have the same intention I do. You have the same end game that I do. We both want to be married. It is up to me to show you why I should be your husband, your next husband. And it's up to you to show me why you should be my wife. It's not my job to tell you how to get there. It is not my job to give you the blueprint to get there. I'm not going to tell you how to get there. You know what the end goal is. I want to be married. You want to be married. Then handle your business and I'm going to handle mine. And we're going to be good. Come together with, that's right, Rochelle. The goal is to have the same end goal. As long as we got the same end goal, then it's up to me to prove to you and for you to prove to me. And this is where I'm talking about where we always get damn blindsided. Because during that time of proving to us, they give us these red flags. Everybody keep talking about they showing you their representative. They might show you their representative. They can only keep that shit up for so long. And you know what happens? While they showing you the representative, they always slip up here and there. But we so caught up in the fact, oh my God, they did this and they did that. We stop paying attention. We stop paying attention. We stop paying attention. So you can see more in people you see in yourself. I used to look for potential, but had to learn to take people for who they show you. Monique on Facebook, you absolutely right. Vanessa on TikTok, you saying watch their actions. Lotus said you called them well, maybe. Blinders are on. Yep, we got to come out with our blinders, guys, and we got to pay attention to what's going on. Listen, let me close this thing because I know we're rolling. So listen. So maybe when you think about everything we've talked about tonight, right? You're right, Gloria. Said the heart will tell you who they are. You're right, sister. So maybe marriage is not losing its value. Maybe people just don't want to do the work that it requires anymore, right? Or maybe, just maybe, we finally telling the truth about what we want. Thank you for that, Stella, right? So maybe, again, it's not that they don't want to do the work. Maybe we finally starting to tell the truth about what we really want in a relationship. And that's what I'm talking about right there. So here's some final questions I want to leave y'all with. I want y'all to think about when it comes to your relationships, right? Do you actually want marriage? Or is it just the idea of marriage? Do you actually want marriage? Or is it just the idea of marriage? Are you preparing for forever? Or are you just surviving right now? I'm gonna ask you again. Appreciate you, Patty Cakes and Jackie. Are you preparing for forever? Or are you just surviving right now? And if the right person showed up today, would you be ready to go? If the right person showed up today, would you be ready to go? I'm leaving you with those three questions. Do you actually want marriage or do you like the idea of it? Are you preparing for forever? Are you just surviving right now? Or if the right person showed up today, would you be ready? No games. Appreciate you, sis. Appreciate you on that. Yep. Listen, this has been really, really good. I hope y'all got a lot out of this thing. Y'all know I like to make sure that we have real conversation when it comes to our relationships. Being Lady L says she ready. Marriage and preparing for forever. I love it. Absolutely ready. I love it. I love it. Trina, what you said, good questions. I'm glad that you all think so. That's right on time. Again, my goal is, as always, you already know, I want to make sure that we doing what we need to do when it comes to our relationships. And the most important part of that is actually communication. We're not communicating. We're not recognizing red flags. We're not addressing red flags like we need to. And as a result, we have more and more of us going through divorce. I just went through divorce. God's child, thank you so much. After 26 years, there was a lot of things, right? Hindsight is always 20/20. And there's a lot of things I looked at and I realized that I didn't do a good job of in the marriage itself. No different than she. There's a lot of things we both failed to do. There was a number of things I probably could have done to save the marriage early on until it got to a point to where I was done. I was done because the disrespect started to come in. But again, Had I recognized some things early on, right, I probably could have made a difference. But here's what I do know. I learned a lot, right? I went through a lot of healing. I'm still healing. I'm addressing a lot of triggers, as we all are. We all are still addressing our triggers, and we're working through them and doing the best that we can, right? But I'm making sure that I'm ready for the next lady that I come in contact with. The next woman I decide to pour into, I'm doing the work right now. One of the biggest keys to that is, as a man, being vulnerable, right? It's being okay with being vulnerable. You all know, if nothing else, I'm very vulnerable when it comes to, and I'm okay with being open like that because I'm confident in me. Somebody asked, do I think healing has time? Absolutely not, Tanika. There is no time limit on healing, just like there is no time limit on grieving. There are some things that unfortunately have affected us in ways that it takes us a while. The key, though, is that when you get a chance to connect with somebody that understands and works with you on your pain and doesn't hold them against you, right? They work with you on those things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But those things take time. This live is helped by allowing men and women to vent and talk about things. That's right, Paul. That's the goal. I appreciate you, bro. That's the whole goal of this thing, is for us to get on here. For those of you that are on Facebook, join my Facebook group, Grown Folks Conversations. We actually have some great conversations in there all the time. People post you can post any question you want when it comes to relationships, and allow people to help you answer those questions. I think you'd be surprised. I love the perspective there, because you get a chance to get many, many, many different perspectives, right? If you're not following me on TikTok, make sure you do so, right? At the Louis V. Remember, if you're on TikTok right now, I think we up to 190 different scam accounts. We reported all of them, and I blocked as many as I can, but there's always new ones. Remember, when you see Louis V Grown Folks Conversation, that little name up under it that says at the Louis V, there's only one of those. They can do Louis V Grown Folks Conversation all day, but remember the at name. There's only one at the Louis V. If it doesn't say at the Louis V, and I think right now I'm at 79,000 followers on TikTok, 79,000. If you don't see at the Louis V and 79,000 followers, it is not me. 2, I'll never ask anybody for money. I don't ask you to join nobody, nothing financial. I don't ask you to do any of that. 3, I will not contact you before you contact me. Okay. If somebody reaches out to you, say, hey, what's up? This Louis V, that is not me. That's not what I do. Now, many of you know, you reach out to me, ask a question. I do my best to get back to you, but the followers are growing like crazy. So sometimes, it takes me a minute. But just remember, if it doesn't say at the Louis V, that's not me. You received the video, but you thought it was you. Thought it was me? It wasn't me. Yeah, it's a lot of scams out here. So y'all, please be careful. Another thing, if you think you're talking to me, you come to my make sure you're on my page at the Louis V. Remember that, at the Louis V. If that's not it, that is not me you're talking to. Apparently, I done been engaged 3 times already, been in a couple relationships with people. I ain't know nothing about it. Hey, this James Page dude on here telling we ain't paying no. Get off here with this scam. Another scam on here talking about $5,000. You was in a photo shoot. Dr. Perry, I appreciate you jumping on, sis. We had good conversation. I hope you caught some of it. Yep. Same thing on Facebook. They starting to use my name in a lot of areas. That's not me. Okay. So just remember that, guys. Deanna, have you contacted me directly? Follow me, Paul. I appreciate you, bro. Again, Deanna, I have a lot. I think on Facebook, I got over 65,000 followers now, and I'm at 79 on TikTok. I have a lot of people. So if you reached out to me directly and it was me you actually reached out to and not a scam, I promise you I'll tap in and say something. Okay. I do my best, but I appreciate all of you all for joining tonight. I hope you got something out of the discussion. We always, every Monday night at 7 p. CST, we're always going to be on here talking about something key. If you all need, if there are topics, and I always leave it open as this way, if there are topics that you're interested in, something that we can truly develop for a live, then I want you to feel free with reaching out to me. Okay. Say, hey, Louis V, I would love to hear this particular topic on live. And then you do that and let me work through it. I'll do my best to put it together and make sure, may say you just got to mention somebody follow. That's another thing. After the live, typically is when the scammers are their most active. Okay. So after the live, if all of a sudden you get Louis V's following you, that's not me. Vanessa, you said why men keep secrets. See, that's kind of subjective. That's men that you've dealt with. I got to have a little more. You said, because who be asking for polygamy? Red Riding Hood. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. People out here that are in polygamous, polyamorous relationships. Hey, no problem. Thank you, Lucia. Thank y'all for joining tonight. Thank y'all for asking great questions. Thank y'all for being open and honest and actually being vulnerable here on the live. Y'all, that's the only way we're going to get better, is to be honest and to be true with one another. That's the only way we're going to get better. Right? Hey, appreciate you, Lady L. Lady L, I promise you I'm going to get on one of your lives. Y'all don't know, I got a lot going on right now and transitioning and doing all kinds of things, but I'm going to be on your live, Lady L, because you have some good conversations as well. Thank you, May, for that. I appreciate it. Myra on Facebook, thank you. Desi, I appreciate you. Yeah, we got to reflect. Yep, you said poly. Yeah, poly people has a whole Facebook group. E said that's right. Avoiding attachment style and whether it's worth pursuing. We might be going through that one. Avoiding. Thank you, Stella. We might be looking at avoiding attachment style. You know, because I'm starting to get that question quite a bit about that. Rihanna, you said you missed my talk about long distance. Hey, Rihanna, listen, you can go on my YouTube channel. The whole live is there on YouTube from Long Distance Relationships. If any of you guys, if you're not following me on YouTube, follow me on YouTube. All right. You follow me on YouTube, you can get all the lives. It's completely recorded. You can download and look at it. Appreciate Chasing Sunsets. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for joining us. I appreciate y'all joining. Listen, I hope y'all enjoyed the rest of your evening. Elaine, you said it's old fashioned. Is asking for a date still a thing? I did a video about that, about people doing that. Yep, I also did it. Yeah, we did a whole live on long distance relationships and how to work through that. I want y'all to go to that live. It's on YouTube. You look at me I think it's _Louis V. You'll see the picture of me with the red sleeveless shirt on that, and every live we had is on there, and all the videos are there as well. If you don't follow me on YouTube, make sure you do so. I got you, Liz. I got you. Yep. Good night, everybody. I appreciate you all again. I appreciate you all joining. Appreciate you, Gloria, Sheila, Facebook, Shannon. Appreciate y'all. All right, Paul. I appreciate you joining, bro. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Chasing Sunsets. YT is _Louis V. Yep, _Louis V. That is my YT. Yep, _Louis V. That is it. I had to make sure. Enjoy your evening. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. I'm gonna end up getting this the drink, and kind of oily skin. I'm telling you, this natural oil be shining. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Yep. Thank y'all for joining. If you're not on YT, y'all make sure y'all follow me on YT, _Louis V. All right. As always, as I say in all my videos, right? Much love. Louis V out. Hey, I'm gonna finish my drink too. I'm trying to tell you. Might even get out here and give me a stogie tonight. It's been kind of one of those things. Man, you said the glistening is amazing. Listen, this natural oil, that's probably what's gonna keep me from being so wrinkled up as I continue to get old, right? This skin starts to get oily. Good night, everybody. I appreciate y'all on Facebook and YouTube for streaming with me tonight as well. TikTok, as always, y'all know I appreciate you. Thank y'all for all the accolades too, man, on my video today with my suit doing the derby party. I had a ball, man. He said, give it to God and go to sleep. You're right. I'm trying to tell you. Yep. Plenty of water. You're right. Yep. Got to keep that going. Good night, all. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. Thank y'all again for today. I'm going to end it on the stream on Facebook and YouTube.